So I just wanted to give you some of the information how I usually implement my test cases within a project. So previously in one of the videos, I described how I implemented integrational tests. That is, I have only one function that is reused across all of the tests here. I just have different input and different assertions, but as you can see, I reuse the same method in order not to duplicate logic. But what if I have just a component which I want to unit test? So I have here a component command parser. So this is just a simple class which annotated as a component. It will be parsed and retrieved by via Spring framework will instantiate this command parser, and then I will retrieve this component in one of the other components, which is shell runner here, and use it. So this is just implicit dependency injection. So this separation gives me opportunity to test my component in isolation. So this component just has only one public method or function and one private function. But private function typically in production, as I saw, we do not need to test private functions. We always want to test public API of component, of class, or function, or whichever you can imagine what comes next in programming. So I just declare usually how I do is just I declare the test and then just instantiate this system under test or object under test. I instantiate this command parser, and meaning that I want to test it. So, and how I typically structure unit tests is that I have three sections. So I declare one of the sections is that I declare the test cases structure used throughout this test. So in this case, I declare a data class called case with description, input and output. Input is whatever we have input to our component or our public function, and output what describes what actually being output from this function or component. And the next part of test is just a static function that returns a stream or collection. You can think of it as a collection of those instantiated case classes here. So, for example, in this one, I declare that this test case is specifically when we have no arguments passed for exit command. So we have input just exit. It means that user using my shell, he will just prompt exit without any argument, meaning that without, for example, this or without the code of return code of the shell, of the process. And it means that we pass into component, and what the component wants to output is declared as this output instance that we successfully parsed command as exit and without any argument being passed. And indeed, we do not provide. If we, for example, provide like that, I should do like that. But this test case is specifically where we do not have any arguments. The second test case is when we have arguments. For example, we have command echo and two arguments. So this component under test should successfully parse the command echo, and the list of arguments is hello and world, and so on and so forth. So I have different use cases. I have different use cases to test my component. So I have basic tokenization. Then I have some of the test cases where I specifically test how the component would react to quotes being passed by user. And then the same I do with double quote handling. And also declare some edge cases that components should also gracefully handle. And I have some mixed quoting, the white space stress. So just combine all of the things, different edge cases and usual functionality that this component must handle, and then expect it to output valid results. So it was the second part of the test, usually how I make my unit tests. And the third part is the function itself. So I have just declare as parameterized tests from this annotation from JUnit and declare the method source. So in this case, I have this method called cases. So this is the single indicator that for JUnit that he needs to search for this specific cases function in order to fetch all of these cases and one by one pass to this parse variant function, retrieve it here, and just and I have the logic itself. So on individual case, I just say my parser is here. I just say parser parse, then provide from this case input line, which is this one, whatever user. So for example, if I go here, so this input line exit or echo hello world or this one will be one by one passed as this parameter. So we'll eventually pass it here to parse. Then this component will parse it and then return this parsed command result, which is here, retrieved here. So the type is parsed command. And then what I do is just assert equals that case output expected command is the same as parsed command name, and expected args is the same as this one. So I will a little bit redo this because we can do much more simpler. So instead of declaring the parsed result as this, I just can destructure it right away. Parsed command and arguments. And then just use it. Also, I can destructure the case right away, but it is optionally. So the beauty of this, how can we structure the tests in that way, that we have only one method, one source of all the test cases, is that whenever we need, for example, to delete the test case, we just delete the test case itself, because otherwise in another design of unit tests you would implement without parameterized tests. You will have a different name and you will duplicate the logic in some way a little bit another one. But what you will do is that you will delete the method, I mean the code which is not really relevant to the data itself. Like, so this when we do parameterized test, it's always clear. Test cases are always viewable, and when you do the code review, people will see exactly which test cases are deleted. And also Yeah, and new test cases can be added like that. Uh, so we will just like that. So it really simplifies. I think it simplifies uh, our life as a developers. So this is primary how I implement unit tests everywhere, every time. Of course, when I have such cool design where I have a specific components, small components that focus on exactly one thing at a time, like that. Thanks for watching.